All right, welcome to Prodigy. This is my new course. It's about 6 months old at this point, and I feel like I've come up with some really good strategies for attaining a 3 on every hole. So there is no par on this course per se, but I do attempt for a 3 on every hole to give myself I think a 51 in the end is what I go for. Whether I get that or not is usually not the case, but I do go for it. So I'm going to go through each of the strategies that I use on this course, because we do have a tournament coming up January 28th, and those that are playing or those that are registered will find this tutorial probably pretty helpful to get you on a path to maybe opening up some strategies in your own mind. Obviously you're going to come up with your own strategies as well, but hopefully I can show you something that you might not have known, or at least something to practice before you get here, or when you get here too. So all right, so this is hole 1. Hole 1 is relatively pretty simple. It's a zigzag pattern, so you're going to stay to the right, stay to the left, get on the par or get on the green, and hopefully 2, if not 3. But the way to do that, I think the best way to do that, is to bank off this rail here and just barely miss this obstacle here to give you that line of sight to go down here. And the best case scenario is to hit this wall wart, we call them, and bank off here and leave yourself here for a very good and easy 2 from putting off the green. So if not, the ball just hits that second obstacle, leaves you in the second quadrant, and it gives you a nice shot for 2 onto the green and then in the cup in 3. So let's see how I do here. Give myself some tutorials to follow. And there it is. I missed the wart, but still leaves it pretty decent. There is no straight shot to the cup, so I'm going to have to bank it off the rail. I like to play 2 rails to give myself a little bit more room. So hopefully this works. Cool. All right. And you're allowed 1 club head length away, and there it is. All right, so that's a hole in 3. Attained. Okay, hole 2. Start with a ramp. There are 3 options for this hole, in my mind at least. There's the option of just putting it straight ahead, which you leave it right off this ramp, which will send the ball into this right side and into the fairway. So this is the green here. You actually start on the green and it rolls off into the fairway, and then you have to bank it up back to the green. A more difficult way is to bank it off that right rail, get it up here, send it off this cliff here, slow enough to get into this area here to hopefully make it. So that's your hole in 1 option right there. Option 3 is to bank it off that and leave the ball just enough to send it into this territory here, down this chute and onto the green, which will leave the ball about right here, so puttable. So there's your 2. 2 things you want to avoid is this wall wart here. That will send you back. That's not a good thing. And 2, don't hit it soft enough to where it hits this or doesn't make it up over this, because you will roll back and take that penalty. I like to use position 1 again for the best trajectory. So I try to hit it to the right and send it up. I like to just go for the hole in 1 because it seems pretty attainable for me, and but I do not try to leave it too slow so that I don't get a roll back. There we go. Oh yeah. All right, so there's your option. That's the hole in 1. So you can try for what you want. I do feel that that is the best way to do it, but the line of sight off this right tee position does send you straight up, so you don't have to bother with any of this stuff. You can just put it straight ahead, bank it off that back wall, and it'll leave you down here. Bank it off this wall. There's your 3. All right, hole 3. This is when the game starts getting a little more complicated. So you got a ramp to the right that you're going to have to send the ball up. There is an open gate here to send the ball, and it is a line from the right, from the first tee position up here, send it down there. And sometimes if you can get enough speed on the ball, it'll actually make it up here. And going for the hole in 1, not probable, but it has been done. So let me try this here. All right. So there isn't a very wide sight here. So you've got about this much room. You've got about 4 or 5 inches to try to strike the ball. And of course you're dealing with the leaning of this ramp, so you're gonna get a little bit of left turn. So you really wanna hug this area as much as possible without hitting it. So let's see. Okay, so I missed that, it's fine. Yeah, you get a good push out there, it's not horrible. You're gonna have to bank it off this wall. There it is. And if you wanna get that 3, I guess this is the way to do it. Ooh, and a miss, okay. So, I'll put it in for 4. All right, so there's a 4. All right, hole 4. There's a handful of ways. There is a troll opportunity here where it's called a rough hop, where you put the ball against this rough and it pops up onto this area here. There's so much that can go wrong, so I don't even attempt it. That's why I do call it a troll. I don't think it's worth it, though. Hey, if you get good at it, it's cool. You really have to hit just the right of this, and it sends it up here, so it'll probably hit here. If anything, you might hit here, you might hit here, you might miss, and you leave the ball here, when in fact you could just get a nice easy putt around that curve and send it out to the right. So I will stay conservative on this one, and I will send it up. And I missed. Okay. So the idea isn't to hit it too hard, but obviously not too soft like that. So now, this is actually a good opportunity to show this option. There is a left track here, where if you do hit it up here, you do have the option of hitting this bank here to send it to here. So we're gonna try that, why not, right? So this will be for 2. So you wanna kinda stay to the right here, and the ball will naturally curve left and hopefully get caught. So let's see. Ooh, there we go. All right. So I avoided all this. Now, if I would have made it up there, the ball would have sent into this area, either left or right, and most likely it hits here, and you have to bank it off this left to get it out there. But you know, maybe I'll do another video at some point and do those options as well. All right, yeah, there's my 3. All right, let's move on to 5. 5 is, it's pretty cool. You can stay pretty relatively easy just by taking this right tee position and send it in this area for 1, bank it off there for 2, and you can make it in 3. That's pretty easy. But there is an option here where there's a small little 3-inch gap in the back of this ramp that if you do this just right, there is really no room for error, but you have to send it up here, just barely missing this area here, and bank it off that far wall, or that rail, and send it up to that open space back there. So that's the strategy I like to take. If you miss, it rolls back, and you know, what happens happens. So let's see. Yep, and that's out. Okay, so that worked well. Take this up to here. So now I actually have a shot for 2. I wouldn't necessarily try straight for it. I would probably take the double bank on the right. So let's try that. Okay, not bad. And another 3. All right. Hole 6. This has a green in the middle, so you can fall off this edge very easily and land down here, and then you have to put it back up. You know, I try for the hole-in-one. I just try to sneak it off this wall, bank it off this rail, and send it up here just light enough to hopefully go in. So let's see how I do. And this one I like to use tee position 1 as well. to get that good trajectory on it. No, I think it's too hard. Yeah, it's too hard. Okay, but it's not horrible. And then I've got that back wall to use, and I like to use it really well and try to bank it off of that, because if you hit it too soft, it just rolls back. So you definitely want to send it hard enough to get off that back wall. Give you a good shot here. And there's your 3. All right, this is one of the 2 shared fairway holes. So this is 7. Very similar to hole 1. Bank it off the right wall, left wall, send it down here. Hole-in-ones are very, very risky because you do hit it too hard and you will go off the back of this, and then you have to start over that way. So I like to try to leave it here, but it is possible to hit this, bank it up here. This is a very, very steep ramp, so it takes a lot of effort to get it up there. So you don't want to fly up over the top either. Obviously the backs of the green do fall down here, so there's a lot to look out for. And then there's a lot of garbage over there as well. And that's obviously hole 8 coming back this way. So, you know, if someone's on 8, that's, you know, them's the breaks you both have to play, and hopefully you don't interfere with each other, but that is part of the hole. So, yeah, so I just know where to hit. I just know to hit it there, and it sends it down, and I'm pretty safe for a 2. So we'll see how it goes here. Oh yeah, just barely missed it. Cool. All right. So yeah, I like to bank it off the back wall to give myself. Oh no, I didn't. But I usually like to bank it off the back to give myself a little bit more room. But there's your 2. All right. Hole 8. I will say this is another troll here. Trying to get it through here with this rough hop is very difficult. I don't even bother. What I do, rather, I send it down here. I try to hit this this bank here, and I send it over here, and I just try to get the ball over here, because this way you've got a really good shot to get it on the green in 2. If you try for this, it leaves it here, and then you got another shot, and then another shot, and then another shot. So you're kind of guaranteed a 4 if you miss that hole, which I just don't even bother. So I go tee position 3. And what I try to do is I hit this rail first to give it a roll off so that it goes like this. I don't try to just bank and make it go like that. I try to roll it, and it gives me the best output. Let's see where we are here. There we go. Perfect. All right, there's your, yeah, just send it here. Bank it off there, get it on the green in 2. This green is very touchy. You want to kind of play it soft because it will roll back, and it's not friendly if you roll back. Nice. All right. Club head length. And there's your 3. All right, hole 9. This is not a fun hole. This is when the course starts to get a little janky and less enjoyable, I will admit it. This has the record of amount of wall warts to deal with. So when you're bouncing off these walls, you've got a lot of angles to deal with, a lot of angles. So I like to try to keep it off the wall as much as possible. Hit it softly, because when you hit it hard and you do hit a wall wart, it'll just bounce back, and it's not a good scene. I like to use position 3. I hit it between these 2 wall warts here. So if you hit it here, if you do it just right, you can miss this and send it here and hit this and leave it in here. But worst case scenario, here's not horrible because you can bank it into there for 2 and shoot it for 3. All right. Okay, that works out. So from here, I would try to hit this bank and just leave it in the middle of the bottom fairway. There we go. And then from here, you just want to attempt to sink it. There's no other option. and you do it. There's your 3. All right, this one. So there's a few options on this hole. I try to avoid every good-looking shortcut. I don't use this bank at all. There is a little area here which is, again, a troll. You don't want to use it. You get stuck in there, and I mean, the ball does fit in it. It's just, you get it stuck in here and it hits there, and then it's not good. So what I try to do is I clear these 2 obstacles, clear this wall, or bounce it off here. Where I want to leave it is about right here, because if you leave it here, you got a good second shot to bank it up onto the green. Otherwise, you're looking at a 4. I don't think there's any other options on this one. So let's see if we can send it down. There we go. Perfect. It's exactly where you want it. Now you got a good shot for 2. I'm going to lay it as close to this as possible to bank it up onto that green. Very nice. Okay. This is a dangerous cup. It's right on the edge. So you miss it, you're sending yourself down sometimes into that troll hole down there. So you kind of want to make this at all costs. There we go. There's our 3. All right. This one has a lot of obstacles in the middle. I just try to stay to the right. Where I want to leave the ball in the end is right here. This is exactly where I want to be. I don't try to go for it. There's just no reason to try to go bank, and go up there, because if you hit it hard and you hit any of these, you're going right back, and it's not fun. There's no way to get it up onto here, though. When you get it over here, you don't want to come out here, because you will fall back onto the fairway. So hole position, or tee position 3 is where I like on this. Just going to bank it on that right, and like I said, leave it down there near the ramp. There we go. It's a little far, but I could still make it. So with this, you know, I have putt slow everywhere here, and a lot of people do think that they have to hit it hard in order to bank it to get it, you know, to go up here, but there is enough physics and enough momentum and enough gravity, as long as you just leave it up here, as long as it doesn't hit any of these walls, it'll roll down naturally and roll up here fine. You don't have to hit it hard on this. And I actually think hitting it hard is a disadvantage, so let's see how I do. There we go. Cool. It's that simple. It's a very light touch for the 3. All right. Hole 12. There is another troll option here. So if you look, all right, so this is actually one of the other holes that shares a fairway with another one. So this one doesn't really interfere as much, but it does have a potential of it. So there is a space up here. You can barely see it. You don't. It's stupid. You don't even want to try for that, because there is a bank here. So you just, you know, there's a small window of opportunity to get it up over this ramp. So I just get it up here and just try to leave it down here. The further down this way you get, the worse it is, because you want a good shot from the back to send it up over, because in the end what you want to do is hit this wall, send it down here, and you want to leave it here on 2. You know, so leave it down there, you hit it here, you leave it here for 2, and then put it in for 3. So I just try to hit it as light as possible to leave the ball in this area. Tee position doesn't really matter, because again, it's just a light touch. So that's, yeah, it's going to be okay. I'd prefer it further back, but from here, I want to bank it off that left wall and just try to clear this area here, because you do want to leave it here. If you leave it here, it's a very difficult bank up, and maybe you'll have the opportunity to show you how to do that, but let's not hope for that. Now, there is another option, which I don't do. Let me see if I can aim the camera down here. So there is an opening right here. So if you can bank it off this wall and roll it up here, the ball does roll onto this green, but it's like pixel perfect, and you really don't want to try it. I don't try it ever, but it is possible and I have seen it done. Okay, there we go. That's what you want. So best position here. So this is going to be a putt in for 3. And if you miss it, you roll off this edge and you're back down here and you got to try again. So you don't want to hit it too hard, but you don't want to leave it too soft as well. So that's why practice on this hole really helps. Nope. Stay, 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 stay. Okay, good. All right, so I guess I'll putt for 4 here. Okay, there's your 4. Should have been 3, but it is what it is. All right, so 13. Very simple hole. This is pretty much the last easy hole. Actually, 16 is kind of easy too, but the next 2 are pretty grungy. You just want to stay to the left here, bank off here. You do want to leave it in this area. If you land it back here, you don't have a shot at the hole. You'll have to bank it off the back, which isn't the end of the world, but it is a little more difficult. And if you leave it down here, you have to do the same. Leaving it down here is horrible. So you just want to kind of get into that area down there. I like to use T position 3 again for that ultimate trajectory. You want to miss this wall wart. So I'll just try to hit it here with light enough touch to send it down there to have a good position for 2. And, ooh, did I hit hard enough? Yeah, ooh, okay. It wasn't quite hard enough. I still have a look at the cup, but with the way the ramp works, I'm still gonna try to double bank it. I'm gonna go left and use that back wall. Now there is a wart right behind the cup, which doesn't help. I don't know who put that there, but you know, blame him or something. Okay. Oh, roll back. Okay, not hard enough. I didn't have a good backswing on that, but still possible for 3 if I can send this in. So this is ideally where you want the ball to land off your tee shot. There we go. All right, save the 3. All right, 14, here we go. This is where the creativity meets difficulty. All right, so there are instructions, but I'm going to tell you how. This pulls here, this moves that arm, okay? This hole at the top, right here, leads down this chute, and we'll send it to that hole. And if I don't make it in this, I'm going to show you anyway. It's just to let you know the consequence of making it in there. If you do make it in this hole, it sends you down here and it banks you into this area, which isn't horrible, but it's not your best scenario. And then if you miss it all, it sends you down to this area, which I would prefer this over anything other than that top hole, because you can bank it off that left, send it down here, and get a good position for 3. But send the ball down, put it in the tube, ball goes up there, it's loaded, all right? And I pull this back gently enough to get some roll off the ball, but then you want to let it go pretty fast to bounce it up into that top hole. So let's see how I do. Nope, missed it. Okay, but that's essentially how you do it. It's very difficult. And again, I don't mind being there. One other option would be to pull this arm down to there where the ball goes in, but it does come down at tremendous speed, so most likely it hits and hops over it. So you kind of want to maybe even release it a little bit. I don't ever do this, but I see other people doing it. Release it a little bit and then drop it to give the ball less momentum while it's coming down. So, all right, but I am here now. What I want to do is bank it off this back wall, to bank it here, to send it to here. The idea is to leave the ball right here. There's a small window, about 3 inches right here, that you can leave it to make it in your 3. So sometimes I like to bank it off that back wall as well, off this hit. So let's see how I do. There we go. Okay. Didn't get it out far enough, but it's still makeable. I can send it off to the left. Maybe get a double bank off into the cup. Ah, just barely missed it. Okay, well, I'll have to settle for a 4. Okay, but I will show you real quick what happens if you go in this hole here, make it in there. Sometimes that happens. So it's not always the best. Sometimes it banks off there and goes back this way and makes it. Sometimes it doesn't. So it's not a foolproof plan, but I'd rather be there than back there, to be honest with you. So I always try for that top hole. It's attainable, but not probable. All right, this is 15. This has a teeter-totter mechanism. So there's another option or not even option. It's you put the ball in this tube, it sends it down, it locks into position, and then you let it go by letting this go, and you want to balance the ball down the teeter-totter and get it. Optimally, you want to get it here to send it here to roll down here, and this is an option of a hole-in-one. Again, not probable. Most of the time it just lands down here, and you have to come up with a good strategy to send it up this hill and send it down. But a 3 is very, very probable. So, all right, here we go. Okay, locked in position. Let's go. All right, you can get it to stick there. Send it down here. There we go. Wall wart. All right. So this is where wall warts kind of suck. And I did hit that, so it is what it is. All right, that could have had the momentum to send it up. I don't know if it would have made it or not, but it would have been an easier putt than this. So this is for 2. And 2 it is. All right. Okay, 16, like I was saying earlier, this is probably the easiest hole. This is the 18 of the 18 easiest. You do want to start on a left tee position 1 because you want that straight shot. I don't know of anybody that would want to do these right tee positions, so it's up to you. You do want to send it here. It's a very, very small green, and if you fall off this, like if you fall off this in 1, you're looking at a 2 to send it to here. 3 possibly getting up there, and 4 in. So you don't want to hit it too hard, and you don't want to hit these warts on the wall. So again, saying it's easy is something, I guess, for this course, but let's see if we can make this. It's probably my most hole-in-one hole is this. That's not a horrible shot, actually, just to leave it here. So hopefully I can make this in. All right, and there's my 2. Should have been a 1, but it is what it is. All right, 17. So for the tournament coming up January 28th, this will be the last hole. We will show you, or I will show you 18 as well, but 18 will not be played for the tournament. So 17 is the last hole. This is very hole-in-oneable. Pretty difficult, but you can do it. So you send the ball up here. This is a very long ramp. You do want to send it off that rail and hopefully get a good trajectory. If you do make it in this chute, you got a good probability of it going in because this is a pretty flat, straight pathway to the hole. If you go to the left, you're going to hit this most likely. It'll leave it down here. Same thing with the right. That bar is going to slow down the ball pretty slowly. It's going to hit this wart and leave it off here. So it's a pretty deep green, kind of closed off by these rails. But again, not too difficult. So it's probably a good hole to end with for the tournament. I use a tee position that I feel comfortable with at the time. I do like to try to hit the left rail first before I hit that bar at the top, just to give it a nice round edge. I do attempt to go for that middle spot. So that is the optimal position and option for this hole. Nope. Almost. All right. So let's see here. Okay. So a 2 is very attainable. Nope. Oh. Nope. All right. So 3. Not bad. All right. And that's the course. So that's the 17 holes again that we'll be using for January 28th. And I definitely recommend coming and playing the course a handful of times. If you do register for the tournament, you get 1 free admission any open day before the tournament to come practice. So it's a $40 admission or a $40 registration for the tournament. Normally it's a $15 admission to the place, but you get a free admission to come and practice all day if you want to. And then you can obviously pay and come any other time before that as well to just come and play. So top prize is $600, second place is $300, third place is $150, fourth place is $100, and then it goes down from there all the way to 10th place. We have cash and sponsored items for the first 10 places. So, but yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. You can email me off the website, prodigyminigolf.com. Have a good time, guys. Thank you.